So, thank you. Nice to see you today. Thanks for coming along. Nice to see you all and really happy to have you here today. And today I'm going to be talking about the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. This is a real time of new beginnings. It's a time of new concepts. It's bringing new things into reality that you've been dreaming, that you've been wanting to bring in. It's bridging those dreams into the reality. And this is the beginning of it, the very seed of it. Aq'ab'al and one Aq'ab'al is very much about taking a new concept out there for the first time, taking something entirely novel out into reality. So sometimes it may be that you've had a plan or a dream or an idea in the back of your head for a little while, and you've been wondering, when am I going to be able to take this into reality? Well, now's the time. So, new things to start. Now, with Aq'ab'al, we know that it is the conception of the day. It's like, I often think of it like a growing baby within the womb of a mother. It's not ready to be born yet. It still needs some work done on it. It's just bringing that new concept in. So that's what we're here to do in this Aq'ab'al Trecena. What new concepts do you have to present to the world? There is going to be time to flesh it out as we go on through the Trecena and as we go on through the next 9 months or so. But this is the starting point. So we're going to begin with one Aq'ab'al. And one Aq'ab'al, as I said, it's literally the new concept. Okay, so yeah, maybe there's been something that you've been thinking of. You've got an idea about where you would like to be in 260 days' time. And it has to start somewhere. It has to start with this concept. Well, one Aq'ab'al is all about bringing that new concept out into the world. Now, the one, we think of it like the newborn, like the seed. It's going to need some encouragement. It's going to need some nurturing in order to bring it forward. So it's time to nurture this new concept. Also, a time to go out to others and say, can you help me with this? Do you have some input that can help me to bring this new concept to life? So, with the Aq'ab'al Trecena, but also with one Aq'ab'al, we got to start somewhere. We're not ready to put out a fully fledged plan, idea, and that kind of thing. We got the kind of like the conceptual image of it, but it's also asking for input of how we can then weave that into something bigger. Now, Aq'ab'al can also be seen as, when we talk about conception, Aq'ab'al is also seen as, well, according to many, a romantic kind of thing as well. I think maybe it's because partly it's the conception of life, of relationship. We've got Aq'ab'al in the cross that then leads to bats, which then leads to Kawok, which is the whole birth process. It's about this kind of thing as well. And so when we see that, it can be the dawn of something like a new relationship as well. This might be coming in, and there's certainly more than a few days within the Aq'ab'al Trecena, which could be very much seen as relating to those kind of things. So if that's something which is on your radar at the moment, then maybe this is also a kind of like sign to say it's time to start putting some energy into that, into taking what has been a dream for a while into something which is coming into this world. From one Aq'ab'al, we then go into two cat. So I was talking about the relationship thing, and the two can often represent relationships. It can represent polarities and lovers and that kind of thing. It can also represent choices, decisions. And these can be very much yes or no, heads or tails decisions. It can be very, very decisive, and it's about seeing the duality in things. Now, when we add that to cat, we can see that this is about choosing what you want to attach to and what you want to leave behind. So as you go into the new concept, you've got to make these decisions because you can't have your basket, your bag, full of stuff that you don't need to carry anymore. We could also see two cat as like very strongly representing what you choose in that new concept, what you choose in that new relationship, about how you want to attach or what you want to detach from, what you want to leave behind, what you want to let go of. And so the cat Nawal is all about multiplication. It's about taking that which has been conceived and multiplying it. Just as we plant the seed in the ground, we plant one seed in the ground, we get 600 seeds back when the maize grows. And so it's kind of like, what do you want to multiply? Make your choices and make some very, you may find there's some very, very stark decisions about, I want this, I don't want any more of that. It can be very much in, like I say, in very strong terms. And of course, Tukat could be an ideal day for cleansing, could be an absolutely brilliant day for decluttering. But you may find that it is very kind of like black and white, your decisions, as it were. And so, kind of like there's two piles, one to keep and one to get rid of. And like at the end of the day, you may find that the ones you get rid of are like literally kind of like put on the fire, are burnt away, and there's no going back to them. So this could be a very good exercise for Tukat if you're ready to do that kind of thing. From Tukat, we then go into 3 Can. And so Can, the empowerment, Can, the power and the wisdom. The number 3, going inside. The number 3 is about the home. And so what we can see with 3 Can is it's about looking for the wisdom inside of you. It's about looking for that power, finding your inner power. And of course, you need this inner power to help your new concept to take root. I can see, as like the spark of life. It's a life force energy that flows through our veins. And this is focusing on the inner source of that energy. And sometimes, sometimes we give away our power. We focus on people around us for that wisdom, or we focus on them for their power or whatever. 3 Can is truly about looking inside for it. It's about working out where your own power is, about how to apply the wisdom that comes from within you to this new concept that you're taking out into the world. From 3 Can, we then go into 4 Kame. So the transformation, the spiritual transformation, the facing of the fears. And so Kame days, in order to transform, in order to move up to the next level, as it were, we have to overcome some issues. We have to overcome our fears. And it could be very much that on 4 Kame, these are very physical fears, because the 4 is very much about the physical plane of existence. And so it may bring those things up for you to face. Maybe, I said that this could be a Trecena which revolves around relationship with the Aq'ab'al aspect of it. And maybe this is about facing some physical fears for yourself, or for like within this new relationship, of like having to stand up, face those fears and transform them, because that's what you're here to do. You can't take your new concept into life if you're hanging on to fears, if you haven't got over stuff yet. Now, Kame also assures us that the ancestors are with us, holding our hands to face those fears. And I often think that the fears will only come about. They say, kind of like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, or whatever. We could also say that when you are ready to face your fears, that's when your fears will appear. Okay? The ancestors are with you, guiding you to face that physical fear, to take that leap, to make that decision, to voice what you need to voice in order to take that new concept that you want to grow out into the world. From 4 Kame, we then go into 5 Kiach. So Kiach, the Nawal of the wilderness, of the greenness. Well, right now we've got a little bit of rain in the canicular, and everything is lush and green. The mountain is certainly looking beautiful right now. And Kerch is about using that strength. It's about gaining that strength from the wilderness, coming into balance and gaining intuition from the walking in the wilderness. But, of course, sometimes when we're hiking up the mountain, it can be, it's pretty hard work to hike up the mountain, right? You've got to put your energy into it. Kerch is also very much about leadership, about spiritual leadership in particular. And so it's saying kind of like it doesn't just drop in your lap. It doesn't just turn up because you think you're ready for it or whatever. It's saying you have to put your work into it. And so as we go through this Trecena, this is the time to put our work into it. This is the time to use your energy to go to the mountain in order to receive the messages that you need to receive from the wilderness as to how to guide and strengthen that new concept into reality. So it's a great day for putting your energy into a walk in the woods, a walk in the wilderness. It's a great day to put your energy into leadership of whatever form that might take. From 5 Kiach, we're then going into 6 Anil. So Anil, the ripening. Anil, the yellowness. Anil, where we get paid back for all of our hard work, where the abundance comes in, the harvest, the yellowing of the maize. That's what it's all about. And we are the maize. We are the, kind of like we are this plant that's growing and coming to our goldenness, coming to our fruition. And the number 6 representing family, representing ultimate stability. In fact, 6 Kanil we could see, or I sometimes see, as one of the most favorable days of the whole calendar. Simply because it's the day of ultimate stability, and it's bringing ultimate stability to our harvest, to our prosperity of whatever it might be. It's a fantastic day to be out in the garden, using that energy that you collected with 5 kech from the wilderness, bringing it back home, and then planting your garden to bring it to its abundance, to bring it to its fruition. But it's also a joyful day. And Neil has so much joy to it because, as I said, it's like payday after all the hard work that you've put in. And here it's about bringing that to the family. It's about bringing it in so that it can be of use to us all. It's also about bringing it in a stable way. This is not about some kind of like boom bust cycle. This is about using something which can thoroughly nurture and nourish us and our family. It's what we've been putting our work into, and it's seeing it come to fruition. So possibly as we go through this Aq'ab'al Trecena, it could also be about seeing what the fruits of your labor, what the fruits of your new concept might move into, what they might become. From 6 Anil, we then move into 7 Toch. Now, in Anil we received, in Toch we pay back. It's a great tithing day. It's a great day to give back a part of what you have received, to make a donation to people like Odim, for example, in order to balance out. We've been fortunate enough to receive what we need to sustain us. Maybe there's a little bit extra that we can give to the people who've not been so fortunate. Toch is about giving in order to keep everything in balance. It keeps your health in balance. It keeps everything in the right way. It is our ability to help those around us, to help our community, to keep everything right. Now, Toch days are a great day to light a candle and give thanks for the abundance that comes to you in whatever way. And here we see it with the number 7, which could be seen as being on the top of the mountain, making all sorts of choices. So this is kind of like choose where to put your energy, what to give to somebody, something, some organization. It's a great day to be doing that, and it may well be that a number of organizations or a number of good causes pop up on the 7 Toch day. Make a choice, make a decision, work with one of them. You don't have to work with all of them. It's great if you can, but like at the same time, giving something back. This is kind of almost like we could look at it as paying off for what we've received, but we can also look at it as paying into the piggy bank for what we're about to receive. It's like kind of like putting some kind of energetic compost onto your new concept so that it can be so that it can be developed in the future. It's paying in goodwill. And so I encourage you, whether you're choosing to make a donation or whether you're choosing to go out and do something for your community, any of those things are a great way to pay back for your abundance. From 7 Toch, we then go into 8 Tz'i. So today, on this day, 13 Ik, we are coming out of the Trecena of Tz'i. The next time we see Tz'i come around, it's 8. And 8 is all about wholeness. It's about completion. It's about like the 4, the material plane, with both polarities at each direction. The 8, coming to the wholeness of life and death, the life and death cycle. And this wholeness being applied to faith, being applied to loyalty, being applied to unconditional love. And that's what we're going to need in order to make our project grow, right? As we go into this new Trecena, this Trecena, which is all about our new concept, we've got to have faith in it. We've got to have faith in ourselves. We've got to have faith in our right direction and all that kind of thing. That's how we take it forward. It's no good if we don't have it. What's going to happen when we get to a challenging time? Tz'i gives us the ability to make a ceremony to give thanks for the unconditional love in our lives. Gives us the opportunity to give thanks for the faith that we have in our projects, our dreams, our concepts, those kind of things. It's about the application of the law. And that law, we're not necessarily talking about kind of like human law as it might be, more like natural law. And understanding the way that things grow correctly, the way that they develop correctly. It can also be a great day to make a payment, to ask for relief from your vices. Maybe there's something that in this time of new concepts you want to leave behind. Maybe you know that it's kind of something that takes you off your path. As I say, maybe it's a vice of some kind. Well, this is the time to give it to the fire. This is the time to turn over a new leaf and say, right, okay, I've experienced both the light side and the dark side, and now it's time to make my choice and put my faith where it belongs, and kind of like resist the temptation of the vices in my life. From 8T, we then go into 9 bats. 9 bats, one of the greatest days of creation. I know that 8 bats, the day of ceremony, the day of the initiation of the new Tz'ikin, is a very, very important day. Now, some people would say that 9 bats is the creation of woman. That's one way of looking at it. I see 9 bats very much as the feminine essence of creativity. So it's also the creativity of life, because the number 9 can represent life, and of course bats is the weaver, so this is about weaving life. It's hardly surprising that it sits in the Aq'ab'al Trecena, when we see that first new conception happens there, and then we've got this weaving of life that happens in the middle of it. It's about adding a touch of genius to your life, a touch of genius to your plan, because bats is the creative genius. And here it's bringing that creative genius to life. This is almost as if, kind of like, there we are, we've gone through our sequence, we've made our ceremony to release ourselves from our vices, we've paid off in toch and all that kind of thing. And then 9 bats is here to come and say, right, okay, now we can start creating, now we can start weaving that new concept in. Now, it may well be that the women around you may be able to help you to stimulate your creativity, because that's, that 9 bats coming in. But it can also be, it's asking you, what do you want to weave in life? Because life is weaving. All creativity is weaving, whether we're weaving our words, or whether we're weaving our movements on the dance floor, or whether we're weaving notes, or however it might be. This is about the weaving of life. So what do you want to weave into yours? 9 bats is the perfect day to be, well, I was going to say sitting down, but if you're dancing, you're not going to be sitting down, but however it might be, in your creation, weaving that into your life. From 9 bats, we would then go into 10 Okay, so the path, the road. Is all about the journey. Now, with 10 this is a journey hand in hand. This is a journey of community. This is a journey of agreements and society. And one of the things I see with 10 is it's like the anthropologist, because it's the exploration of society, the exploration of how community works, the exploration of agreements. And as we go into this new Trecena, as we go into this time of the new concept, sometimes there may be other people who've got experience in something similar. And this is a time to go and ask for the experience of our community, also to share our experience, because is the experience that we've collected on our journey. So, this is about not going it alone. This is about walking hand in hand with others and realizing that we can have a more enjoyable journey and a more fruitful journey when we do that. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can also go and ask those people around us who've taken that journey before us what they found on their path, what they found on their road. This gives us the opportunity for mentoring, for example, because we're helping others in our community to walk that path towards their new concept. From 10 we're then going into 11 Now it's an interesting combination as 11 simply because we have which is always so stable and down to earth and all part of the community and harmonious and all about the home and that. And then we have the 11, which is not quite so linear. You know, it's going off in different directions. Is normally kind of like very grounded, very steady and this kind of thing. And the 11 is kind of like almost like the opposite of those things. Can also be about community leadership. It's about being the leader within the home. And I often now see the number 11, it has a great deal of creativity in it. And part of the reason it has that creativity is because it's not afraid to go and look at new ways of doing it. You know, one of the things that we hear, like that we may have come up against in our lives, you know, we join this new company or we join this new place, this new community, and we see something which is maybe out of alignment, which is not very efficient or however it might be. And we say, well, why are we still doing that? Why do we do it? Oh, because we've always done it like that. Well, why don't we change it? Well, we can't change it because it's always been done like that. Well, it's causing a lack of harmony. Yeah, I know, but you can't change the system. 11 says you have to go out of your way to new places in order to bring harmony, because if something is not in harmony right now, if there is something out of alignment within the house, you can't bring it into alignment by repeating the same process that took it out of alignment in the first place. So you have to go looking for new ways to do it. So that's what I see 11 as, the ability to go and look in places which may not seem connected, in places which may seem out of the usual sphere of influence, in order to find the new way of bringing harmony to your home, harmony to your society. From 11 we are then going into 12 Ish. So Ish, the Nawal, where's my jaguar? There she is. The Nawal of Mother Earth, Ish, the Nawal of the Jaguar, the Nawal of magic, of the sacred sites, of the sacred which is within us, the sacred which is around us. Yes, the holy places, but honestly, kind of like when we look at all of our wilderness, all of our trees, all of the the Mother Earth around us, this is where she is. Now, yes, I use the word about magic, as it were, and it's about speaking the language of Mother Earth and asking her for what we need in our life, but it's also about looking after her. It's a reciprocal thing. We live symbiotically with Mother Earth. And she gives and she gives and she gives, and we take and we take and we take. And it gives us an opportunity to go and give back to Mother Earth. And we see it with the number 12. The number 12 is all of our life experiences. Now, part of this in this Trecena of Aq'ab'al is about using our life experience to ask Mother Earth for what we might need in order to take um, our new concept out into the world. But of course, this is also about using our life experience to care for Mother Earth. So maybe there is stuff that you have learned in your past, whether it's about water filtration or planting trees or whatever it might be, for regreening the earth, for looking after the spirit of Mother Earth. 12 Ish gives us an opportunity to draw on all of that life experience and use it to care for Mother Earth, helping each other. And once again, in order to do that, in order to, put forward our information, share our information, so that we can take our opportunity and take our responsibility for looking after Mother Earth. And of course, in return, she's able to look after us. And then from 12 Ish, we're going to end the Trecena on 13 Tz'ikin. So Tz'ikin, the Nawal of the visionary. Tz'ikin, the nawal of the bird. Now the bird flies up high and it sees the future. This is why it's a visionary. It can see into the future. And maybe this, as we see with Aq'ab'al, we started off with that concept in the half dark. I see Aq'ab'al very much as kind of like shedding light on that which was hidden. Well, 13 Tz'ikin is very much about the revelation. It gives you the vision from the ancestors, from spirit, about where you're going, where that concept can go, what potential it might have. Because you maybe thought on one Aq'ab'al, you thought, well, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe I think I'll try and bring that out into life because I've got some ideas about it. Well, 13 Tz'ikin is where it could be, well, you thought it was going to be this idea, or you thought it was going to be this big, but instead it's going to be this big, because Tz'ikin encourages us to go to the perfection of it, to take it to its highest possibility. And 13 is very much about the ancestors, it's very much about the spirit. So it's kind of like the vision which is received from spirit, the vision which is received from the ancestors, which is going to help you to guide yourself forward as you develop that new concept further into the world. Okay? So that's the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. I hope that that has been useful for you, and I hope that it helps to guide you over the next 13 days. And I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Achmach. Thank you.